Now, as N. Ram said, it is now in the national court because politics clearly remains at the heart of this battle. Remember, an entire parliament session was washed out over Pegasus Gate. Congress leader Rahul Gandhi held a press conference today, terming the Pegasus snooping as an attempt to crush Indian democracy. The BJP hit back. Listen in.
Pegasus is an attempt to crush Indian democracy. It's an attempt to make sure that the vibrancy of the democracy, the conversation that takes place in a democracy are crushed and people are controlled. So it's a big step that the Supreme Court has said that they're going to look into this matter. I'm confident that we will get the truth out of this. So
the government in its affidavit, the copy of which I carry today, had categorically stated to the Supreme Court that we are also of the opinion that in order to counter the false narrative of certain vested interest group, it would be fair that if we establish a committee of experts and they look into this whole issue. And this is what has happened today on the floor of Supreme Court.
So let's look at the politics being played off on our political face-off. The big question, does the Supreme Court verdict put the Modi government in the dock? Did the Modi government spy on Indian citizens? Will the Modi government come clean on Snoopgate? Will the truth now come out on Snoopgate? Joining me now, Gaurav Bhatia, BJP's senior spokesperson. Also joining me is Supriya Srinath, the Congress's spokesperson. Gaurav Bhatia, you're both lawyer and spokesperson, so eminently suited to address the question that I have for you. The Supreme Court order, do you classify it, do you accept that it's an embarrassment for the Centre for the Modi government? Because the Supreme Court says, Mr. Bhatia, the committee has been formed to probe the falsity and to discover the truth in the Pegasus row. The Centre's reply is vague and limited. Government cannot get a free pass every time national security is raised. Right to privacy is sacrosanct, but within limits. And essentially saying the Centre did not even attempt to justify its stand on the matter. Is this an embarrassment, the appointment of a committee under a retired Supreme Court judge?
Rajdeep, I was listening to the discussion that was taking place on your channel and you referred to the term a big blow to the government. Now, as a foot soldier of the Honorable Supreme Court, let me tell you a few things about the order that has been passed today. It has been passed on the line when the central government itself had proposed forming a committee constituting experts who can look into the issue. The only difference is that the committee has now been chosen by the Honorable Bench. Second, you would agree with me that this is a committee that has to look into the facts. It would come out with the facts which are relevant and give recommendations. It has not indicted the government as of now.
No, it has not indicted the government, Mr. Bhatia, but the government, Mr. Bhatia, the government wanted to form its own expert committee. The Supreme Court rejected that. Instead, they have appointed a committee under a retired judge, and they have said that the Centre's replies were vague, that the Centre wasn't coming clean. Are you telling me that's not a blow?
Okay. I think you are again not right when you say that the government is not coming clean. There is no such paragraph. I've read the entire judgment. It is with me. And I very clearly pointed out that the government had recommended constituting an expert committee. The Supreme Court agreed with that principle. There is no indictment of the government. The committee is to present a report before the Honorable Supreme Court. But having answered your question, I have a question, Rajdeep.
Yes.
What is the guarantee if this committee submits a report and say, if the report says there is no illegality, would the Congress and Rahul Gandhi accept the report of the committee? They could not accept the Rafael verdict, the Judge Loya verdict. So is it going to be selective that if an order of the Supreme Court suits them, they will say, yes, we accept it. And Rahul Gandhi last, I heard him, he was saying that Supreme Court and judiciary is controlled by Narendra Modi ji. Today the Supreme Court has given this verdict. Now, is it not an egg on Rahul Gandhi's
Okay, let the direct question that you have posed be answered by Supriya Shrineth. Answer it that the Supriya Shrineth, according to Gaurav Bhatia, will the Congress accept whatever the Supreme Court now says, or will you only accept a judgment that is beneficial, which is seen to be beneficial to the Congress party and critical of the government?
I will answer your direct question, but I'm glad I'm actually speaking to my opponent here, who's also a legal counsel and he's a lawyer. What is the very basis of the Supreme Court decision today? The primary basis of this entire order, of this entire expert committee, is that the spyware was acquired by an Indian government agency. There cannot be any denial of that. Anybody with limited knowledge of law will say that was the primary basis. The second basis was that this software, this military grade software, was used against Indian citizens. And then of course the court goes on to say various things. And one of the things that the court says very categorically, and it's there in black and white in the judgment, is that there was a vague denial from the government which is not sufficient, hence allegations need to be probed. There is also a line that says that the government was given ample opportunity to give details of actions taken by the IT. Limited affidavit gave no clarity. It also goes on to say Pegasus sold by the NSO group only to undisclosed governments and not private parties. So I go back to my primary argument. The primary basis of the order today is that the Supreme Court is convinced that this military grade spyware was acquired by an Indian government agency and was used against Indian citizens. It raises just three questions.
Just a minute, Supriya Shrineth, you are making a bit of a leap. It raises questions certainly whether the government did use Pegasus to snoop on its citizens. It doesn't conclusively say so. That is why a committee has been appointed. The committee has been asked to look into it and submit its recommendations. The point which is being made, will you now accept whatever this committee comes up with, the Supreme Court appointed committee?
I am hoping that the Supreme Court committee will go to the very basis of this entire this entire scam and will understand what this government was trying to do. And I hope that the government, which now finds itself in a dock, will be cooperating with the Supreme Court and not trying to conceal data like they have so far done. Why has the court ordered a committee? Because they believe that vague details were given. They believe that clarity was not given. It was insufficient, and so a committee is required. Rajdeep, it goes back to the very kernel of truth. What are we asking here, and what is the committee trying to find here? Who authorized, who bought Pegasus? It can only be bought by the government. That's what the Supreme Court categorically says in its order. They want to find out who authorized, which was the Indian government agency. To my knowledge, it can only be the Prime Minister or the Home Minister.
Let me respond.
The second important question is, who was it used against? Who were the people who was used against? Because please understand, there were constitutional figures that this was allegedly used against. The Chief Election Commission or the Chief Justice of India, elected governments, elected MPs, elected ministers. And the third most important thing is, and the Supreme Court says that, was it used by a foreign... it makes reference to a foreign government, a foreign agency, and that is very, very important because who had access to this data?
Let Gaurav Bhatia respond.
He's itching. Foreign agency? That's the question.
He's itching to respond. Gaurav Bhatia first. Will the government cooperate with this committee? So far, the government has been using the shield of national security to say, look, there is only so far and no further that we can go. Now, will the government cooperate with the Supreme Court appointed committee or use the same argument?
So, Rajdeep, I love the way people and political parties like the Congress get exposed on your channel itself. And let me tell you how. You said that it is a big blow for the government. But here I am representing the Bharatiya Janata Party, unconditionally, very respectfully, accepting the verdict of the court. I asked a question to the Congress Party spokesperson, very categorically.
You don't have a choice.
Will you accept...
don't have a choice.
Can she be quiet, Rajdeep?
Yes,
it becomes very disturbing.
Yes.
It also shows lack of substance.
No. Let's go on. Yes. Go on.
I also asked a very important question. That is your faith in the Supreme Court and the committee that has been appointed unconditional, unwavering? Did you get a reply? She said, I hope the committee will decide the way Rahul Gandhi wants. Now, I will.
No, will you answer my question, sir? Will you cooperate? I'll ask her that again. But will you cooperate? Will the government of Narendra Modi cooperate with this committee or say national security, we cannot reveal details?
So, Rajdeep, I will answer your question, but you will have to be a little patient because I think the viewers have the right to know the right facts.
Yes.
The arguments made on your program. One, the government has acquired the software. One, he doesn't know what happened in the Supreme Court. The government took a very categorical stand that even stating whether we have acquired the relevant software or not will jeopardize national security. Second, if the government has, suppose, then acquiring the software per se is not illegal. Second, she said it has been used against Indian citizens. Nowhere in the judgment there is any such finding that it has been illegally used against any constitutional authority. Now coming to your question, Rajdeep, you asked me about cooperation from the government. I will tell you something about law. The Constitution mandates if there is a judgment of the Supreme Court, you have to cooperate with every authority that has been empowered by the Supreme Court. We are a law-abiding government. We are a government that respects the Constitution, and there are certain things that give the power to the government also. We will exercise that power in accordance with law.
So you are giving me an assurance in a way that if this committee asks the central question, did the government acquire Pegasus software or not, you will answer that. If a list is provided of the alleged citizens who were snooped upon, the government will share those details.
Rajiv,
the government of the day has nothing to hide. Am I correct? You are saying the government has nothing to hide. It is ready to provide this information because so far the government has refused to do so. Not in parliament and not before the court.
Please come in?
No, ma'am,
Rajiv,
please wait.
in short, I'll tell you first of all, you are not right.
Yes.
The judgment as well as on the floor of the House, the Minister for Electronics and IT, Ashwini Vaishnav ji, had assured that there is no illegality and all norms and procedures are followed. That is recorded in the judgment. But let me complete my point. Rajdeep, holding the spirit of the judgment in accordance with law, as per the spirit of the Constitution, the government will fully cooperate. But do ask the Congress spokesperson that when Rafale judgment came, writ petition dismissed, review petition dismissed, CAG report came out, and people of India have given a verdict. Why did they not respect that? Same happened with Judge Loya case. Same happened for the Vista project. Will they have selective respect for the Supreme Court?
You've raised this question before, and maybe therefore, Supriya Srinath, let's settle this. Supriya Srinath is the second time Gaurav Bhatia is raising it. Will the Congress party respect whatever judgment, whatever order or whatever recommendations come through this Supreme Court appointed committee? Will you again cast doubts? Is what the BJP spokesperson wants to know, depending on what the committee comes out with.
No, yes, we will absolutely respect it. But I want to go back and tell you about the Rafale judgment. Rafale is now being probed by a court of law in France. And our government is completely quiet about it. People who allegedly paid bribes are the ones who are probing it, but the ones who accepted it are absolutely mum and quiet about it. So please don't tell me what you did in Rafale, because that truth is going to be out soon. I wonder what the BJP has to say. An entire session of parliament, you stalled, you did not answer our questions. Today you've got mud on your face. Today there's mudslinging that's happening because you do not want the truth to come out. What are you going to say to the Supreme Court that wants to know the right to privacy and freedom? They want to ask this chilling impact on citizenry. They want to ask the foreign countries or parties involved. What answers do you have? Do you have any answers of why this military-grade software was found in the phones of women and how this compromises? And what national security you talk about? You are the one who's actually doing treason and actually compromising national security by doing this. You breach various laws in this country, the IT Act, the Official Secrets Act. This actually amounts to treason. It's nothing short of that.
Okay,
What are you going to tell the people of this country?
That's a very
Supreme Court has
serious.
clearly
No, you made a
talked
you
very
are
tough with you
accusing
today.
the.
You know,
You
when
are
you-
no, no,
when
1 minute.
speak
You are
to me-
accusing
No,
the
Rajdeep,
Modi
let me
government of
respond.
treason. That's a very serious word to use. You have used the word treason. The Supreme Court has not used this word.
Absolutely.
Supriya Shinath, you are using it. Gaurav
Can I
Bhatia deserves the
respond?
right to respond. Gaurav, please respond. Your government is being accused of treason in the Pegasus
Let me
case.
tell you why I'm using it, and I will use it again.
Okay, can I respond now, Rajdeep? This is not
Please do.
a proper debate. If she
Please
interrupts-
do, ma'am. Please do, Gaurav Bhai. Please do.
Yes, thank you, Rajdeep. Rajdeep, as an Indian citizen, I have full faith in the Supreme Court of India. I don't care about any other court which exists in another country. In the Rafale case also, Supreme Court has given a verdict and then has also reasserted in a review petition which was dismissed. Second, what is treason? Treason is when you actually sign an MOU with China and then you don't reveal the content when you are in power. And third, all that I've spoken on
There
your
is
program
breach of the Official
can be
Secrets
asked her
Act
to be
here.
quiet.
Do you even
She
realize
cannot
that?
interrupt me.
No, no, no.
You want to
When I
argue with
have
me
a
on this?
fair anchor
You have
like
breached the
Rajdeep, she
Official
cannot dare
Secrets
to
Act
interrupt
of this
me.
country.
No, no.
Very important
Please.
data is sitting
Gaurav,
with the Prime
ask
Minister,
her to
which
be
has no
quiet.
business.
Okay,
sitting
okay.
there.
I know
It
you
is
are a
sitting with a
very,
foreign
very
country, with a
fair-
foreign company.
Okay,
What are you even talking about?
Okay, I was going to be very generous today because it is Supriya Shinath's birthday. So I think we should wish her a happy
I'm
birthday.
A very happy birthday.
This is
to
not a
Supriya.
day for
I
you
hope that
and
will
Gaurav
bring a
Bhatia to
smile
get,
on
but
her
I
face.
think the
Can I
real,
respond and complete myself?
the nub of the issue is whether now we can move a step forward to actually find out whether citizens' mobile instruments, their phones, their lives in a way were being snooped upon. A major step forward has
Rajdeep.
been taken by the Supreme Court. I only hope that our political parties will learn to respect whatever court the court comes up with. That's the only way democracy can be strengthened. We need an institutional strengthening. And maybe the Supreme Court has done what perhaps our political parties, particularly the government, has failed on Snoopgate, coming clean on it. Will the government now come clean? That's the hope. Gaurav Bhatia, Supriya Shinath, once again a happy birthday to you. Gaurav, you want
I
to
hope
wish
you will
her?
remember my birthday also, Rajdeep.
Thank you.
What is your birthday? Please tell me the date.
No, that's fine.
No,
I'm
what's
sure
the
you will
date?
find out.
What's the date? We'll find out. But I
Gaurav,
wish
you might want to wish me.
Okay. I wish you
Gaurav,
both.
you might want to wish me to fight harder.
Okay. On
I
that
A
note,
good fight.
on that note, Gaurav
Thank
Bhatia,
you.
Supriya Shinath, nice to see politicians smiling even in these polarized times. Thanks for joining me. Okay.